It did that thing again. Why is it doing this? For some reason, it starts the stream automatically. Auto stop. It's not supposed to start the stream until I hit go live on YouTube, but for some reason it auto starts the stream. I don't know why. Morning, Chair. What up, King? That's weird. Usually I select the stream on OBS. And then it connects. And then I hit go live on YouTube. But now it's different. I don't know. Whatever. We're live now. We live now. All right. I think we got a boring one today, boys. I think so. We got some begats. So I'm just going to read through this as quick as possible. I was just watching a movie. I thought I was going to be able to finish the movie before the stream started. It's called Flight Risk. Got Mark Wahlberg and the guy from that 70s show. Pretty good. Pretty good so far. I got like 10 minutes left of it. It's only an hour and a half long. You guys tried this wild cherry and cream Pepsi? Soda taste test. Today we're doing wild cherry and cream Pepsi. I really like this drink. It just tastes like wild cherry Pepsi. I don't even taste the creme. Not the strong taste of creme. Creamy. Baileys with cream. You ever drink Baileys from a shoe? You ever go to a party where people wee on each other? Okay. I'm tired. Okay, let's just get into this. It's going to be a trudge, ladies and gentlemen, so keep me entertained in the chat. I'll check the chat occasionally, but for a little while, we're just going to be reading. We got some begats. We got the second census. This is Numbers chapter 26. Hopefully we can finish Numbers tomorrow and get on to the second law, Deuteronomy, which I think will be another slow one. All right. Nothing to it but to do it. And it came to pass after the plague. Remember the plague from yesterday? Because the Israelites were messing around with the foreigners and their idols, their ladies and their idols. And it came to pass after the plague that the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest, saying, Take the sum of all the congregation of the children of Israel, from 20 years old and upward, throughout their father's house, all that are able to go to war in Israel. And Moses and Eleazar the priest spake with them in the plains of Moab by Jordan near Jericho, saying, Take the sum of the people, no promises. Take the sum of the people from 20 years old and upward, as the Lord commanded Moses and the children of Israel, which went forth out of the land of Egypt. Reuben, the eldest son of Israel, the children of Reuben, Hanok, of whom cometh the family of the Hanokites, of Palu, the family of the Paluites, of Hezron, the family of the Hezronites, of Carmi, the family of the Carmites. These are the families of the Reubenites, and they that were numbered of them were 43,730. And the sons of Palu, Eliab. And the sons of Eliab, Nemuel, and Dathan, and Abiram. This is that Dathan and Abiram, which were famous in the congregation, who strove against Moses and against Aaron in the company of Korah, when they strove against the Lord. And the earth opened her mouth and swallowed them up together with Korah. When that company died, what time the fire devoured 250 men, and they became a sign. Remember Dathan and Abiram? We're gonna get a refresher in this chapter, a refresher of everything that happened. Dathan and Abiram, they're the ones that, with the Korathites, when the earth opened its mouth and they fell into the pit. And it says the fire burned them up. So there is fire in the pit. I don't know why people say that there's no fire in Sheol. There's no fire in the pit. I started Numbers this morning. I'm catching up. Notwithstanding, the children of Korah died not. The sons of Simeon after their families, of Nemuel, the family of the Nemuelites, of Jamin, the family of the Jaminites, of Jachin, the family of the Jachinites, of Zerah, the family of the Zerites, of Shaul, the family of the Shaulites. These are the family of the Simeonites, 22,200. The children of Gad after their families, of Zephon, the family of the Zephonites, of Haggai, the family of the Haggites, of Shuni, the family of the Shunites, of Ozni, the family of the Oznites, of Eri, the family of the Erites, of Arod, the family of the Arodites, of Areli, the family of the Arelites. These are the families of the children of Gad, according to those that were numbered of them, 40,500. The sons of Judah were Er and Onan, and Er and Onan died in the land of Canaan. And the sons of Judah after their families were of Shelah, the family of the Shelah, the family of the Shalanites, of Pharez, the family of the Pharezites, of Zerah, the family of the Zarites. The sons of Pharez were of Hezron, the family of the Hezronites, of Hamul, the family of the Hamulites. These are the families of Judah, according to those that were numbered of them, 16,500. Judah's always staying heavily populated. They don't got no problems reproducing in Judah, the Judeans. 16,000 is 76,500. Of the sons of Issachar after their families, of Tola, the family of the Tolites, of Puah, the family of the Punites, of Jashub, the family of the Jashubites, of Shimron, the family of the Shimronites. These are the families of Issachar, according to those that were numbered among them, 64,300. That's 64,300. Of the sons of Zebulun after their families, of Sered, the family of the Sardites, of Elon, the family of the Elonites, of Jaleel, the family of the Jalaelites. These are the families of the Zebulites, according to those that were numbered of them, 60,500. 60,500. The sons of Joseph after their families were Manasseh and Ephraim. The sons of Manasseh, of Machir, the family of the Machirites, and Machir begat Gilead. Of Gilead come the family of the Gileadites. These are the sons of Gilead, of Jeezer, the family of the Jeezerites, of Halek, the family of the Helekites, and of Ariel, the family of the Arielites, and of Shechem, the family of the Shechemites, and of Shemida, the family of the Shemidaites, of Hepher, the family of the Hepherites, and Zelophehad, the sons of Hepher, had no sons, but daughters. Beta! And the names of the daughters of Zelophehad were Mala and Noah. Noah, his daughter's name was Noah. Hagla, Milcah, and Tisra. These are the families of Manasseh, and those that were numbered of them, 52,700. These are the sons of Ephraim after their families, of Shuthelah, the family of the Shuthalites, of Betcher, the family of the Betcherites, of Tahan, the family of the Tahanites. And these are the sons of Shuthelah, of Iran, the family of the Earonites. These are the families of the sons of Ephraim, according to those that were numbered of them, 32,500. These are the sons of Joseph after their families. The sons of Benjamin after their families. Of Bela, the family of the Belalites. Of Ashbel, the family of the Ashbelites. Of Ahiram, the family of the Ahiramites. Of Shupham, the family of the Shuphamites. Of Hupham, the family of the Huphamites. And the sons of Bela were Ard and Naaman. Of Ard, the family of the Ardites, and of Naaman, the family of the Naamites. These are the sons of Benjamin after their families, and they that were numbered of them were 40,500. These are the sons of Dan after their families. Of Shuham, the family of the Shuhamites. These are the families of Dan after their families. All the families of the Shuhamites, according to those that were numbered of them, were 64,400. Wow, so he only had one. Dan, they only had one. He only had one son. And of that family lineage, they got 64,000 people. They were making some babies. I got to sit in a waiting room for a few hours. Going to be reading his other book, God is a Man of War. Started the Dayung. Don't read the Bible, and it really doesn't interest me, but I'm always willing to show my support. Like a good chair, always willing to show support. Well, you came to a Bible study on one of the most boring days. Even if you don't like the Bible, there's some really cool stories in here. There's some really interesting stuff. Even if you don't care about the Bible or Christianity, there's just some cool stories in here. Today is not one of those days. Today it's gonna be Rome. You're a mod. You're not allowed to talk about the N-wordites. Today's gonna be a boring day, as you can tell so far. Where was I? I was on Dan, the Shuhamites, 64,400. Of the children of Asher after their families, of Jimnah, the family of the Jimnites, of Jesui, the family of the Jesuites, of Beriah, the family of the Beriites, of the sons of Beriah, of Heber, the family of the Heberites, of Malchiel, the family of the Malchielites. Malchieli, Illuminati, all through your body. And the name of the daughter of Asher was Sarah. These are the families of the sons of Asher, according to those that were numbered of them, who were 50,300. Of the sons of Naphtali after their families, of Jahaziel, the family of the Jazielites, of Guni, the family of the Gunites, of Jezer, the family of the Jezerites, of Shillem, the family of the Shillemites. These are the families of Naphtali according to their families, and they that were numbered of them were 40,500. These were the numbered of the children of Israel, 600,000 and 1,730. 601,730. So what was the number in the first census? It was 600,000 also, right? Israelites in the first census. I think it was 650,000. $603,000 in the first census. Now we're at the second census. This is after they're not totally done wandering through the wilderness. So this is probably towards the end of the 40 years. They've gained 601,000. Oh, they've actually lost 2,000 people, but They actually lost way more than 2,000 people. They were just having babies. So now they're aging people who are at least 20 years of age. They've been in the wilderness for 40 years. So only the first 20 years, the babies that were made in the first 20 years, was enough to take care of the replacement rate, even considering not quite, because their population has gone down over 40 years by 1,000, little over 1,000. But if you remember, not too long ago, God wiped out 24,000 of them in one day. So they did have a lot more, but they go to wars, they lose people in wars and in battles. They die of plagues, etc., etc. But they're pretty much replacing themselves. And this is only counting the men, the fighting age men. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Unto these the land shall be divided for an inheritance according to the number of names. To many thou shalt give the more inheritance, and to few thou shalt give the less inheritance. To every one shall his inheritance be given according to those that were numbered of him. So you're going to get land and cattle and all that based off of how many people in your population. It sounds like socialism. No. Notwithstanding, the land shall be divided by lot. According to the names of the tribes of their fathers, they shall inherit. According to the lot shall the possession thereof be divided between many and few. And these are they that were numbered of the Levites after the families of Gershon, the family of the Gershonites, of Kohath, the family of the Kohathites, of Merari, the family of the Merarites. Jacob had a lot of sons, that's true. Yeah, they had lots. They were making lots of babies. I mean, what else are you supposed to do? You're either in the temple, you're either in the tabernacle doing a sacrifice, or you're farming, or you're making babies. Ain't got time for no video games. Ain't got time for no social media, no streaming. It's not even about time. They didn't have it. They didn't even have a deck of cards. They couldn't even play Go Fish. All they could do was worship and make babies. Got to keep warm. Now, yeah. These are the families of the Levites, the family of the Libnites, the family of the Hebronites, the family of the Mahuites, the family of the Mushites, the family of the Korathites. And Korath begat Amram. And the name of Amram's wife was Jochebed, the daughter of Levi, whom her mother bare to Levi in Egypt. And she bare unto Amram Aaron and Moses and Miriam their sister. And unto Aaron was born Jochebed, the daughter of Levi, whom her mother bare to Levi in Egypt. I thought Moses' mom's name was bare to Moses' mom's name was Zipporah. No, that was his wife. Oh, Jochebed is okay. Jochebed is Moses. Dang, look at this painting of Jochebed looking thick, girl. What up? Yo. Jochebed out here looking like a calendar gypsy. She's looking like a gypsy going up on a dang calendar. What the? Look at Jochebed. What up, Jochebed? Dang, girl. Put a shirt on. What you doing out here? Can't be wearing that. Dang, calm down, Jochebed. I'd be making babies too if Jochebed's walking around looking like that. All right. Looking like a gypsy. All right. And unto Aaron was born Nabab and Abihu. Oh, Nabad and Abihu. They're the ones that did the strange fire in the temple, and they got burnt like they got burnt to a crisp because they were smoking pot in the tabernacle. Eleazar and Ithamar. And Nabad and Abihu died when they offered strange fire before the Lord. Told you. And those that were numbered of them were 20 and 3,000, all males from a month old and upward. For they were not numbered among the children of Israel, because there was no inheritance given them among the children of Israel. These are they that were numbered by Moses and Eleazar the priest, who numbered the children of Israel in their plains of Moab by Jordan near Jericho. But among these there was not a man of them whom Moses and Aaron the priest numbered, when they numbered the children of Israel in the wilderness of Sinai. For the Lord had said of them, oh, wow. So that's right. Because remember, he said, you're all going to die and your corpses are going to rot while your children find the promised land. So all the initial, from the first census, the initial 601,000, they're all dead. This is a whole new, 40 years later, a whole new replacement. There was 603,000. Now there's 601,000. Not a single one of this 601,000 is part of the original census from 40 years prior. They all died. This is all. So it's actually, and then if you consider wars, people dying in wars, and you consider the plague where 24,000 died. So they lost 650,000 men. And yet their population is still consistent, sustained at 601,000. So that's a really high replacement rate. Because then there's still more kids, and that's just the fighting age men. And that doesn't include the Levites, the priests. They number the priests from a month old till 50. The warriors, they number from 20 to 60, I believe. That outfit looks comfy, actually. Yeah, it looks comfy to me, too. I snuggle up. Call me Snuggleopolis. That baby looked comfy, too. Yep. So they were making lots of babies. Dressing like that, shoot. For the Lord had said of them, they shall surely die in the wilderness, and there was not left a man of them, save Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, and Joshua, the son of Nun. Not None, Nun. So the only ones left from the original census were Caleb and Joshua. Based. I'm glad my mom didn't name me Nabad or Abihu. But I did dabble with that strange fire at one point. I'm glad God didn't burn me up. Okay. Chapter 27. The laws of inheritance. Then came the daughters of Zelophehad, the son of Hepher, the son of Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Manasseh, the families of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, and these are the names of his daughters. Now we got to do the daughters. Mahlah, Noah, and Hoglah, and Milcah, and Tisra. And they stood before Moses and before Eleazar the priest and before the princes and all the congregation by the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, saying, Our father died in the wilderness, and he was not in the company of them that gathered themselves together against the Lord in the company of Korah, but died in his own sin, and he had no sons. Why should the name of our father be done away from among his family, because he hath no son? Give unto us, therefore, a possession among the brethren of our father. So this guy, he wasn't even part of the Korathites who got swallowed up into the earth and got cursed to die in the wilderness. He wasn't involved with that mess. But he died of his own sin. Which could just mean he just died a natural death, or it could mean he got, whatever. He could have just died any number of ways, and they just call it he died of his own sin. Or maybe he did something bad and he died for it. Regardless, he didn't have any sons. He was beta. He made 5 daughters. And these daughters are like, we're part of the 12 tribes of Israel. We should have, don't cast us out. We're a part of this. This is a matriarchy over here. This is the first feminist tribe. Give us a chunk, God. Let's see what God says. And Moses brought their cause before the Lord. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, the daughters of Zelophehad speak right. Thou shalt surely give them a possession of an inheritance among their father's brethren. And thou shalt cause the inheritance of their father to pass unto them. And thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel, saying, if a man die and have no son, then ye shall cause his inheritance to pass unto his daughter. You see, this is totally different than the Quran. The Muslims would never do this. And if he have no daughter, then ye shall give his inheritance unto his brethren. And if he have no brethren, then ye shall... Dude, nobody in Israel doesn't have any kids or brethren. What are we talking about? And if ye have no brethren, then ye shall give his inheritance unto his father's brethren, his unc. And if his father have no brethren, then ye shall give his inheritance unto his kinsman that is next to him of his family, and he shall possess it. And it shall be unto his children of Israel a statute of judgment, as the Lord commanded Moses. And the Lord said unto Moses, get thee up into this mount Abiram, and see the land which I have given unto the children of Israel. And when thou hast seen it, thou also shalt be gathered unto thy people. Get ready to say goodbye to Moses. But you know what that means. Joshua's about to step in. And when thou hast seen it, thou also shalt be gathered unto thy people, as Aaron thy brother was gathered. That means you about to die, Moses. For ye rebelled against my commandment in the desert of Zin, in the strife of the congregation, to sanctify me at the water before their eyes. That is the water of Meribah and Kadesh in the wilderness of Zin. Remember when they didn't have any water? They're like, what's up, Moses? We need water. And Moses is like, God, why aren't you giving us no water? And God made the water come out of the rock. And God told him, all right, Moses, since you know what? I'm tired of your crap. I'm tired of Israel's crap. I'm tired of your crap. You know, you're slacking, Moses. You're not going to see the promised land. You'll see it, but you ain't going in it. You're not going to make it in. And then when they were whoring with the Moabites, you know, Moses didn't even say anything about it. Moses didn't even do anything about it. Phineas had to come along with a dang javelin and spear those 2 people. God was like, good job, Phineas. Moses, what are you doing over there? You slacking. So Moses is about to die. And Moses spake unto the Lord, saying, let the Lord, the God of the spirits of all flesh, set a man over the congregation, which may... That's pretty selfless of Moses. Moses knows he's about to die, and shows some selflessness in his last moments. He knows he's about to die, and his last request of God is like, give him somebody to replace me, God. They need a leader. You've seen, even when they have a leader, they're always complaining. They're always running off with the dang Amalekites and the Moabites and the Canaanites and worshiping Moloch and Baal and sleeping with all these different types of women. They're a mess, God. Give them a leader. Don't leave them without a leader, because they need one. They're a mess. The people are a mess, and they need a leader, which may go out before them, and which may go in before them, and which may lead them out, and which may bring them in, that the congregation of the Lord be not as sheep which have no shepherd. And me and Mosman have talked about this before. He says, because we talked about in Kings, when they're given a king, they say, we need a king, and they're given a king. And Mosman's like, Well, see, God didn't want them to have a king, but they requested to have a king. No, it goes back even farther than that. The people are a mess and they need a leader. God gave them Moses, and then Moses knew, God, they're going to need a leader when I'm gone. Give them another leader. Then they got Joshua. Got to have a leader. You got to have a godly man leading the people. Otherwise, the masses are dumb. They're like lambs being led to the slaughter. Even if they see God, even if they're looking at God and they see him right in front of their face doing miracles, people in mass are still stupid. They need a strong leader. Oh, look, and he says it right here. That the congregation of the Lord be not as sheep which have no shepherd. And the Lord said unto Moses, take thee Joshua, the son of Nun, a man in whom is the Spirit, and lay thine hand upon him. This is Joshua succeeding Moses. And set him before Eleazar the priest and before all the congregation, and give him a charge in their sight. And thou shalt put some of thine honor upon him, that all the congregation of the children of Israel may be obedient. Obedient to their leader. Sounds a little bit authoritarian to me. The priests were supposed to be the leaders. They were a connection between the people and God. Well, remember, the priests were, or was that the judges? Moses and Aaron were above, because I think I disagree with you on that, Sal. So I think it was Moses is almost like God through Moses. Aaron spoke for Moses and became the head priest. Aaron leads the priests. Remember when Moses was holding his arms up and he couldn't do it on his own and they had to come help him hold his arms up? Those are the judges. So it's like a government. And I believe, maybe I'm wrong, but the way I see it is like, it's like Moses is the president. Aaron is the vice president. The priests are like Congress. And then the judges are like the Supreme Court or the Senate or something. Moses was a priest? No. Was he? I don't know if Moses counted as a priest. I know Aaron was the head priest. And Aaron spoke for Moses. It doesn't ever really say Moses was I guess he was essentially a priest. I've been reading it and I don't know why I can't. No, he wasn't a priest. Yeah, I didn't think so. He functioned as a priest. He could perform priestly duties, but yeah, it never calls Moses a priest. Aaron is like the leader of the priests. They make the clothes for Aaron, and then the Levites are like all the priests. But Aaron was the leader of the priests, and Moses was the leader of Aaron and the priests and the judges and everybody. And God was the leader of Moses. So really, God's the president. Moses is the vice president. Aaron is like Elon. I don't know. He was a prophet. Yeah, that's right. That's a better title. Yeah. A mediator between God and the Israelites. Yeah, but he could perform priestly duties, but he wasn't considered a priest. But now Joshua is taking Moses. Joshua is succeeding Moses. But Joshua is also a warrior, as we're going to see here soon. And he shall stand before Eleazar the priest, who shall ask counsel for him after the judgment of Urim before the Lord. At his word shall they go out, and at his word they shall come in, both he and all the children of Israel with him, even all the congregation. But see, Mosman said he wanted to do a debate about authority in Christianity, I think I would probably change the premise to biblical authority or biblical hierarchy or something like that, because he's going to want to just go to New Testament stuff. But everything Jesus says in the New Testament comes from the Old Testament. So I have to be able to go to the Old Testament also and to demonstrate the hierarchy in heaven and earth. And you can point towards the hierarchy of the angels. You can point to the hierarchy in the Old Testament. You can go to Romans and point to hierarchies of Jesus over the apostles. All sorts of hierarchies and authoritative systems in the Bible. Both he and all the children of Israel with him, and Moses did as the Lord commanded him. Moses is about to die. And Moses did as the Lord commanded him. And he took Joshua and set him before Eleazar the priest and before all the congregation. And he laid his hands upon him and gave him a charge as the Lord commanded by the hand of Moses. Well, Moses ain't dead yet. I thought this chapter he was done. He's not done yet. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, this is chapter 28, command the children of Israel and say unto them, my offering and my bread for my sacrifices made by fire for a sweet savor unto me, shall ye observe to offer unto me in their due season. And thou shalt say unto them, this is the offering made by fire, which ye shall offer unto the Lord, 2 lambs of the first year without spot, day by day for a continual burnt offering. The one lamb shalt thou offer in the morning, and the other lamb shalt thou offer at even. A 10th part of an ephah of flour for a meat offering, mingled with the 4th part of a hin of beaten oil. It is a continual burnt offering, which was ordained in Mount Sinai for a sweet savor, a sacrifice made by fire unto the Lord. And the drink offering thereof shall be the 4th part of a hin for 1 lamb. In the holy place shalt thou cause the strong wine to be poured unto the Lord for a drink offering. And the other lamb shalt thou offer at even, as the meat offering of the morning, and as the drink offering thereof. Thou shalt offer it, a sacrifice made by fire of a sweet savor unto the Lord. And on the Sabbath day, 2 lambs of the first year without spot, and 2 tenth deals of flour for a meat offering mingled with oil, and the drink offering thereof. This is the burnt offering of every Sabbath, beside the continual burnt offering and his drink offering. And in the beginnings of your month ye shall offer a burnt offering unto the Lord, 2 young bullocks and 1 ram, 7 lambs of the first year without spot, and 3 tenth deals of flour for a meat offering mingled with oil for 1 bullock, and 2 tenth deals of flour for a meat offering mingled with oil for 1 ram, and a several tenth deal of flour mingled with oil for a meat offering unto 1 lamb for a burnt offering of a sweet savor, a sacrifice made by fire unto the Lord. And their drink offering shall be half an hin of wine unto a bullock, and the 3rd part of an hin unto a ram, and the 4th part of a hin unto a lamb. This is the burnt offering of every month throughout the months of the year. And 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering unto the Lord shall be offered, beside the continual burnt offering and his drink offering. And in the 14th day of the first month is the Passover of the Lord. And in the 15th day of this month is the feast. 7 days shall unleavened bread be eaten. Got to remember that manna. Staying hydrated, boys. All right. And the first day, this is law offerings and feast proceedings. I told you yesterday. This stuff's usually slow, but hopefully today, if we can get to chapter 31, we can read about the slaughter of the Midianites. In the first day shall be an holy convocation. Ye shall do no manner of servile work therein, but ye shall offer a sacrifice made by fire for a burnt offering unto the Lord, 2 young bullocks and 1 ram, and 7 lambs of the first year. They shall be unto you without blemish, and their meat offering shall be of flour mingled with oil. 3/10 deals shall ye offer for a bullock, and 2/10 deals for a ram. A several tenth deal shalt thou offer for every lamb throughout the 7 lambs, and 1 goat for a sin offering to make an atonement for you. Ye shall offer these besides the burnt offering in the morning, which is for a continual burnt offering. After this manner ye shall offer daily throughout the 7 days the meat of the sacrifice made by fire of a sweet savor unto the Lord. It shall be offered beside the continual burnt offering and his drink offering. And on the 7th day ye shall have a holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work. Also in the day of the first fruits, when ye bring a new meat offering unto the Lord, after your weeks be out, ye shall have a holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work, but ye shall offer the burnt offering for a sweet savor unto the Lord. 2 young bullocks, 1 ram, 7 lambs of the first year, and their meat offering of flour mingled with oil, 3/10 deals unto 1 bullock, 2/10 deals unto 1 ram. A several tenth deal unto 1 lamb throughout the 7 lambs, and 1 kid of the goats to make an atonement for you. Ye shall offer them beside the continual burnt offerings and his meat offering. They shall be unto you without blemish, and their drink offerings. So that was a lot. More, offering stuff, sacrifices and offerings. Now we got more feast stuff. This is going to be more of the same. I told you we had 4 chapters that we're just going to be basically just reading. But chapter 30, we have laws concerning vows. Chapter 31, we have the slaughter of the Midianites. So that'll get interesting. Let's get through chapter 29. This one's going to be more of the same of the last one. So here we go. And in the 7th month, on the first day of the month, ye shall have a holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work. It is the day of blowing the trumpets unto you. And ye shall offer a burnt offering for a sweet savor unto the Lord, 1 young bullock, 1 ram, and 7 lambs of the first year without blemish. And their meat offering shall be of flour mingled with oil, 3/10 deals for a bullock, and 2/10 deals for a ram, and 1/10 deal for 1 lamb throughout the 7 lambs, and 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering to make an atonement for you. Beside the burnt offering of the month, and his meat offering, and the daily burnt offering, and his meat offering, and their drink offerings, according unto their manner, for a sweet savor, a sacrifice but made by fire unto the Lord. And ye shall have on the 10th day of this 7th month an holy convocation, and ye shall afflict your souls. Ye shall not do any work therein. But ye shall offer a burnt offering unto the Lord for a sweet savor, 1 young bullock, 1 ram, and 7 lambs of the first year. They shall be unto you without blemish. And their meat offering shall be of flour mingled with oil, 3/10 deals to a bullock, and 2/10 deals to 1 ram, a several tenth deal for 1 lamb throughout the 7 lambs, 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, beside the sin offering of atonement, and the continual burnt offerings, and the meat offering of it, and their drink offerings. And on the 15th day of the 7th month ye shall have a holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work, and ye shall keep a feast unto the Lord 7 days. And ye shall offer a burnt offering, a sacrifice made by fire of a sweet savor unto the Lord. 13 young bullocks, 2 rams, and 14 lambs of the first year. They shall be without blemish, and their meat offering shall be flour mingled with oil, 3/10 deals unto every bullock of the 13th bullock, 2/10 deals of each ram of the 2 rams, and several tenth deals to each lamb of the 14 lambs. And 1 kid of goats for a sin offering, beside the continual burnt offering, his meat offering, and his drink offering. And on the 7th day ye shall offer 12 young bullocks, 2 rams, 14 lambs of the first year without spot, and their meat offering and their drink offerings for the bullocks, for the rams, and for the lambs shall be according to their number after the manner, and 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, beside the continual burnt offering, and the meat offering thereof, and their drink offerings. And on the third day 11 bullocks, 2 rams, 14 lambs of the first year without blemish, and their meat offering and their drink offerings. For the bullocks, for the rams, and for the lambs shall be according to their number after the manner, and 1 goat for a sin offering, beside the continual burnt offering, and his meat offering and his drink offering. And on the fourth day 10 bullocks, 2 rams, and 14 lambs of the first year without blemish, their meat offering and their drink offerings. For the bullocks, for the rams, and for the lambs shall be according to their number after the manner, and 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, beside the continual burnt offering, his meat offering, and his drink offering. And on the fifth day 9 bullocks, 2 rams, and 14 lambs of the first year without spot, and their meat offering and their drink offerings. For the bullocks, for the rams, and for the lambs shall be according to their number after the manner, and 1 goat for a sin offering, beside the continual burnt offering, and his meat offering, and his drink offering. And on the sixth day 8 bullocks, 2 rams, and 14 lambs of the first year without blemish, and their meat offerings and their drink offerings. For the bullocks, for the rams, and for the lambs shall be according to their number after the manner, and 1 goat for a sin offering, beside the continual burnt offering, his meat offering, and his drink offering. And on the seventh day 7 bullocks, 2 rams, and 14 lambs of the first year without blemish, and their meat offering and their drink offerings. For the bullocks, for the rams, and for the lambs shall be according to their number after the manner, and 1 goat for a sin offering, beside the continual burnt offering, his meat offering, and his drink offering. On the 8th day ye shall have a solemn assembly. Ye shall do no servile work therein, but ye shall offer a burnt offering, a sacrifice made by fire of a sweet savor unto the Lord. 1 bullock, 1 ram, 7 lambs of the first year without blemish, their meat offering and their drink offerings. For the bullock, for the ram, and for the lambs shall be according to their number after the manner, and 1 goat for a sin offering, beside the continual burnt offering, and his meat offering, and his drink offering. These things ye shall do unto the Lord in your set feast, besides your vows and your free will offerings, for your burnt offerings, and for your meat offerings, and for your drink offerings, and for your peace offerings. And Moses told the children of Israel according to all that the Lord commanded Moses. Got him. We did it. Okay, that's it. Didn't take that long. See, how long did that take? That wasn't so bad. Told you I could break the world record Bible speed reading challenge. That wasn't even fast. That was like 60% of my top speed. We could go much faster. Round of applause. Okay. Now, let's learn about laws concerning vows. Are we talking about marriage vows? Oh, yeah, we're talking about marriage vows. This should be interesting. And Moses spake unto the heads of the tribes concerning the children of Israel, saying, This is the thing which the Lord hath commanded. If a man vow a vow unto the Lord, or swear an oath to bind his soul with a bond, he shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that proceedeth out of his mouth. I like that. I don't even think that that's necessarily just to do with marriage, but that's just a good rule of life for men. If a man vow a vow unto the Lord, or swear an oath to bind his soul with a bond, he shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that proceedeth out of his mouth. Based. If a woman also vow a vow unto the Lord, and bind herself by a bond, being in her father's house in her youth, and her father hear her vow, and her bond wherewith she hath bound her soul, and her father shall hold his peace at her, then all her vows shall stand, and every bond wherewith she hath bound her soul shall stand. But if her father disallow her in the day that he heareth not any of her vows or of her bonds wherewith she had bound her soul shall stand, and the Lord shall forgive her because her father disallowed her. So if a woman is in her dad's house and she makes a vow to the Lord, or to a man for that matter, and the dad says, no, you're not going to do that, she can break her bond. She's actually required to break her bonds, and God forgives it because her father said no. Honor your father. And if she had at all an husband when she vowed, or uttered or uttered aught out of her lips, wherewith she bound her soul, and her husband heard it, and held his peace at her in the day that he heard it, then her vow shall stand, and her bonds wherewith she bound her soul shall stand. But if her husband disallow her on the day that he heard it, then he shall make her vow which she vowed, and that which she uttered with her lips, wherewith she bound her soul, of none effect, and the Lord shall forgive her. Based. You got to obey your husband. If your husband says no, I'm not sure what type of vows they're talking about specifically. Maybe like, what type of vows are they talking about in Numbers 30? Like, what's an example of a vow to the Lord? Like, I don't know what type of vows we could be talking about. Numbers 30. Primarily focuses on laws regarding vows, specifically stating that individuals must uphold their vows made to God, and outlining situations where a father or a husband can annul a vow made by a daughter or a wife, respectively, highlighting the importance of family authority and responsibility in such commitments. But what kind of vows are we talking about? A vow made to God is no small thing. God commanded that his people should be careful to keep their vows and to fulfill every oath they made. Vows either took the form of a promise to give something to God, usually a sacrifice, or a pledge to abstain from something. So if the woman's like, God, I'm going to abstain from sex with my husband for you, God. And her husband hears it and he says, no, you're not. Then God's like, yeah, no, you're not. No, and I forgive you. She doesn't have to keep that vow. In fact, she needs to obey her husband. So that vow is annulled, and I'm not going to hold it against you. Like, what are you abstaining from? But every vow of a widow and of her that is divorced, wherewith they have bound their souls, shall stand against her. So if you don't have a husband and you're a grown woman, you've been married before, and when you're married, when a girl is married, her father is no longer her connection to God. It becomes her husband. But then if she's widowed or divorced, if she makes a vow, she needs to, just like a man, she needs to stand by her vows. And if she vowed in her husband's house or bound her soul by a bond with an oath, and her husband heard it and held his peace at her and disallowed her not, then all her vows shall stand, and every bond wherewith she bound her soul shall stand. So if she makes a vow and her husband hears it, and her husband says, yeah, I'm okay with that, then she needs to stand by her vows. But if her husband hath utterly made them void in the day he heard them, then whatsoever proceedeth out of her lips concerning her vows or concerning the bond of her soul shall not stand. Her husband hath made them void, and the Lord shall forgive her. Every vow and every binding oath to afflict the soul, her husband may establish it, or her husband may make it void. Based. Yeah, you ain't taking no vow of celibacy while you're married to me. Are you crazy? Is you crazy? But if her husband altogether hold his peace at her from day to day, then he establisheth all her vows or all her bonds which are upon her. He confirmeth them, because he held his peace at her in the day that he heard them. But if he shall anyways make them void, after that he hath heard them, then he shall bear her iniquity. These are the statutes which the Lord commanded Moses between a man and his wife, between the father and his daughter, being yet in her youth in her father's house. Nice. Round of applause. Man, it's 11:20. We can maybe finish No, we're not going to finish Numbers today. Some of these chapters get pretty long here. But we will read 31 so we can get something, hopefully something exciting here. Oh, Balaam's back. 31's a long chapter. So we might just read 31 and then wrap it up. I'll wrap it kind of early because I want to finish watching this movie. Round of applause. Okay. Chapter 30. Balaam's back. Chapter 31. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Avenge the children of Israel of the Midianites. Afterward shalt thou be gathered unto thy people. So, Moses, you got one more job. You got to wipe out these Midianites. And then you're going to die. You're going to die. And Moses spake unto the people, saying, Arm some of yourselves unto the war, and let them go against the Midianites, and avenge the Lord of Midian. Of every tribe 1,000 throughout all the tribes of Israel shall ye send to the war. So there were delivered out of the thousands of Israel 1,000 of every tribe, 12,000 armed for war. And Moses sent them to the war, 1,000 of every tribe, them and Phinehas. Phinehas is a bad butt. Phinehas is the dude that javelined up those two Moabite people, or the Israelite who had brought the Moabite girl, back to camp. Phinehas javelined those two. Phinehas, the son of Eleazar the priest, to the war with the holy instruments and the trumpets to blow in his hand. And they warred against the Midianites, as the Lord commanded Moses, and they slew all the males. And they slew the kings of Midian, beside the rest of them that were slain, namely Evi and Rechem and Zur and Hur and Reba, 5 kings of Midian. Balaam, also the son of Beor, they slew with the sword. They killed Balaam. Well, he had it coming. He had it coming. We knew Balaam, but that's crazy because Balaam actually had the Lord entered into Balaam just to make a point. And Balaam saw the angel of the Lord, and his donkey talked to him and saw the angel of the Lord. And now Balaam just got murked. So, And the children of Israel took all the women of Midian captives and their little ones, and took the spoil of all their cattle and all their flocks and all their goods. And they burnt all their cities wherein they dwelt, and all their goodly castles with fire. And they took all the spoils and all the prey, both of the men and of the beasts. So see, when people complain that, oh, God commanded that they kill all the men, women, children, and animals of the Amalekites. Okay, so what should they have done instead? Just killed the men and then taken the women and the children captive? Would that have been better? Or maybe we kill all the men and we just set them free in the wilderness. Would that be better? It's kind of a blessing if you, at that point, if you just wipe them out, I mean, you got 3 choices. Well, yeah, you got 3 choices. You either wipe them out completely, or you kill all the men and you take the women and the children and the animals captive, in which case they could end up having a good life if they assimilate, find a nice Israelite man. And then the third option is you release all of them into the wilderness and then they die anyway. So that's just part of war. That's how war goes. What else are you supposed to do? Is that is wiping them all out any different than dropping a nuke on them? And then the atheists will say, well, you shouldn't drop nukes on people either. We just want world peace. Kumbaya. Okay. Tell that to all the atheist communists who wiped out hundreds and thousands, hundreds of millions of people. All right. And they brought the captives and the prey and the spoil unto Moses and Eleazar the priest, and unto the congregation of the children of Israel, unto the camp at the plains of Moab, which are by Jordan near Jericho. And Moses and Eleazar the priest and all the princes of the congregation went forth to meet them without the camp. And Moses was wroth with the officers of the host, with the captains over thousands and captains over hundreds, which came from the battle. And Moses said unto them, Have ye saved all the women alive? Behold, these caused the children of Israel, through the counsel of Balaam, to commit trespass against the Lord in the matter of Peor. And there was a plague among the congregation of the Lord. Moses says, hold on a second. Did you keep all the women alive and bring them back to camp? And they're like, yeah, what, you wanted us to kill the women too? Moses is like, these are the ladies that were sleeping with the men that made God bring the plague. Remember all that happened? Remember when 24,000 people died from the plague that God gave us because they were sleeping with the Midianite and the Moabite and the Amalekite women? God don't like that. You brought them here? Moses is pissed. Now therefore kill every male among the little ones, and kill every woman that hath known a man by lying with him. Keep the virgins, though. But all the women, children that have not known a man by lying with him, keep alive for yourselves. Ooh. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, I know people are not going to like that. Okay, let me find another translation. let me see. Let's see what the Septuagint says. Because that's what it says. Basically, any woman who ever slept with a man, kill them. But it says, this is Numbers 31:18. But all the women children, comma, that have not known a man by lying with him, keep alive for yourselves. Now, when I read this, I think, okay, these are the young virgins. Keep them alive. Once they're mature, once they're of a mature age, they didn't have age of consent laws back then. Once they're of a mature age, you can take them as a wife and we can make more babies because that's what they do in Israel. But I want to see, maybe there's alternate translations of this. But all the women children that have not known a man by lying with him, keep alive for yourselves. Let's check the NEV or the what is it? No, I don't want a New Living Translation. Orthodox Jewish Bible. This website does not have Orthodox Study Bible. What's the name of the... There's Orthodox Jewish Bible. But all girl neshim that have no das of lying with zakar, save alive for yourselves. Let's see what the NIV says. But save for yourselves every girl who has never slept with a man. So NIV just changes it to girl instead of woman. Instead of woman children. Instead of women children. I want to see the ESV. But all the young girls who have not known a man by lying with him, keep alive for yourself. Yeah, I think a lot of people see everybody wants to talk about the Amalekites. I think if some atheists saw this verse, they'd get even more upset. This is like one of those verses that Christians have to grapple with. But I mean, I've never heard an atheist bring this verse up. So I'm probably giving them ammunition right now by focusing on it like this. But I'm not just going to keep reading. When I see something that people would probably wrestle with, I want to contend with it. Let's look at the Hebrew and the Greek. Or let's Numbers 30. Let's check out the Enduring Word Commentary, see if there's any scholarly stuff on this. Oh, they're going to skip over this. Oh, yeah, they don't want to talk about this. Okay. Keep alive for yourselves all the young girls who have not known a man intimately. Therefore, all the women who had known a man intimately were killed, but ones who were not related to the immorality and idolatry of the Midianites could be kept alive. Women who had known men sexually, whether Midianite or sinful Israelite men, were to be considered unclean, since they were the main instrument of Israel's demise at Baal Peor. Only the young girls would be allowed to live, so that they may be taken as wives or slaves by Israelite men, according to the principles of holy war. And we're going to read about those in Deuteronomy coming up soon. But the references it gives is Deuteronomy 20, 13, and 14. Deuteronomy 20, 13, and 14. And when the Lord your God delivers it into your hands, you shall strike every male in it with the edge of a sword. But the women, the little ones, the livestock, and all that is in the city, all its spoil, you shall plunder for yourselves, and you shall eat the enemy's plunder, which the Lord your God gives you. And then Deuteronomy 21, 10 through 14. When you go out to war against your enemies and the Lord your God delivers them into your hand, and you take them captive, and you see among the captives a beautiful woman, and desire her, and would take her for your wife, then you shall bring her home to your house, and she shall shave her head and trim her nails. She shall put off, oh, they bring this one up a lot. She shall put off all the clothes of her captivity. She shall put off the clothes of her captivity, remain in your house, and mourn her father and her mother a full month. After that, you may go into her and be her husband, and she shall be your wife. And it shall be, if you have no delight in her, then you shall set her free. But you certainly shall not sell her for money. You shall not treat her brutally, because you have humbled her. So that seems nice. That's forgiving. You killed her whole family. She's beautiful. You take her, you let her mourn her loss for a month. She cleans herself. She purifies herself. Takes off her clothes of her tribe. She assimilates. That's what the trimming of the nails and the shaving of the head. It's a purity thing. You got to do away with all of your old traditions. Assimilate, mourn your father. And if you have no delight in her, does that mean if you make babies with her? And it shall be, if you have no delight in her, then you shall set her free. But you certainly shall not sell her for money. You shall not treat her brutally, because you have humbled her. That's nice. You got to treat her right. Who have not known a man, as far as they could conjecture by their age. So they would, so what it's saying is, but this assumes that there was some sort of age where the Midianite men wouldn't do anything with the women. Because the way that they would tell if they had ever slept with a man was based off of their age. So if they were too young to be sleeping with men, they would keep them alive. so that they could marry them later. There's not a lot of commentary on this. People be dodging this verse. LXX Branton translation. I've heard atheists use that verse. Which one? The one I read out of Deuteronomy or the one that I'm reading out of Numbers? Because I've heard this one out of Deuteronomy. I've heard atheists bring this up where they talk about shaving her head and trimming her nails and putting her into captivity so that they can marry her. I've heard atheists bring this up before, Deuteronomy 21, 10 through 14. But I've never heard an atheist bring up this one in Numbers 31, 18. Because this one's even worse. This one sounds even worse. The way it's worded sounds worse. The way it's worded, all the women children that have not known a man by lying with him, keep alive for yourselves. And I'm reading all the different translations here. What's it called? The Branton. Let's see if they have it on Bible Gateway. BRG Bible. Branton what? LXX Branton translation. They don't have that here. Let's just put Numbers 31:18 Septuagint, maybe. Branton's Septuagint translation. Oh, it's on Bible Hub. Branton's? No, LXX. Okay, so this version says nothing about children. That's kind of rough. So this seems a little softened. And this is why so why would the King James version intentionally make it sound worse? It seems more likely that it probably did sound bad and that this is a softening of it. But I don't know. This sounds soft, like gentler. So the Septuagint, the Branton Septuagint says, Numbers 31:18, and as for all the captivity of women who have not known the lying with man, save ye them alive. So they totally removed the young or the children or the girl. They totally don't have that part in here. Where's the strong? Numbers 31. Where's the interlinear? Let's look at the interlinear. So we can look at the Hebrew. Because this was not written in Greek. So the interlinear, the Hebrew, Hatap, the young. For yourselves keep alive a man intimately have known not who women, the young, but all. Lakim, Hahayu, Zakar, Miskab, Yadeu, Loaser, Banasim, Hatap, Wikol. The young. So this Britain, so the NIV says young. The ESV says girls or young girls. Other versions just say girl. Some versions say young. Some versions say girl. Some versions say young girl. The King James Version says women children. But the Septuagint doesn't have that word at all. So either all those other versions made it intentionally sound worse, but I guess the way you read the Talmud, it makes more sense why would they would add stuff like that into the right. That's what you've said. So you're saying the Hebrew from the Masoretic text is basically the small hats adding things to it to make it seem worse. But you understand why I'm inclined to think that it probably was that. And that to me, it seems like the people who wrote the Septuagint were probably trying to tone it down a little bit to make it seem gentler and nicer. Doesn't that make more sense? Does it make more sense that they wiped out all the men and all the women and they kept all the virgin girls alive? And that 1,000 years later, churches were translating this and they're like, "Ooh, that sounds bad. Let's soften that up a little bit." That makes more sense to me than they actually just kept all like the fully grown mature women alive, and but they killed all the women who slept with men, but they kept the women who hadn't slept with men alive. How would they know that they hadn't slept with men? The only way that they would know that they hadn't slept with men before, they didn't have like gynecologists to figure out if they still had a hymen. The only way they would have known that they hadn't slept with men is if they were young. That makes sense. That just makes logical sense. It sounds bad. It sounds horrible, but it makes logical sense. And it makes more logical sense that why would the rabbinic texts, why would the small hat people write this in the Masoretic text in the Hebrew from the original Hebrew? Why would they add things in to make Moses and the Israelites look evil? Why would they do that? That doesn't make any sense. It makes way more sense to me that this is what happened, and that later when people are translating, they're like, "Ooh, that sounds bad. Let's tone that down a little bit." I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying that makes more sense. Septuagint is older. It was made by J's for J's. No one contested till the second century to make it justify the Talmud. Huh. I mean, you could be right. You could be right. It just seems less likely to me. I do know about a lot of the stuff that's in the Talmud is freaking nasty. They say Jesus is an excrement, and they have the mitzvah pa, which is some rabbinic people still do in New York, where they do something nasty after circumcisions. There's a lot of weird stuff in the Talmud. I haven't read the whole thing, but I've read chunks of it. Septuagint is older than the original Hebrew. See, that doesn't make sense to me. The original manuscripts were written in in Hebrew. The Septuagint is in Greek, which was a later language. So how is the Septuagint older than the original manuscripts that we found? the scrolls, the Isaiah scrolls, the Dead Sea Scrolls, all these things, these original texts that we found. How I'm not talking about the translations. I'm talking about the scrolls that we found that are in Hebrew. How is that's the Septuagint's older than the Masoretic texts? Okay. Well, so maybe I'm not talking about the Masoretic texts because like the Strong's Concordance in this interlinear Bible is not from the Masoretic text. It's from a lexicon. It's from the Leningrad Codex. Westminster Leningrad Codex. Where's that from? Strong's tagging comes from the Leningrad Codex. Methodology base text. And orthography is the next Nessel 1904 Greek Testament, courtesy of blah, 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 blah. Additional not contained in the Nextal. Only the last version. Green variant is noted. Variants. Other variants, compounds. Get it for free. I can get a whole PDF of the Interlinear Bible for free. I don't need it. I have a computer here. We're grateful to Lockman. Yeah, see, this is from the Westminster Leningrad Codex text. Tanakh US. Hebrew translation via alittlehebrew.com. Unicode XML Leningrad Codex. I just want to make sure that. What is the Leningrad Codex? The Leningrad Codex is the oldest known complete manuscript of the Hebrew Bible, containing all 24 books of the Masoretic text, and was written in Cairo in 1008 and 1009 CE. Leningrad Codex, also known as the Codex Leningradinus, is a meticulously preserved handwritten manuscript of the Hebrew Bible, considered the oldest complete codex book form of the Hebrew Bible using the Masoretic text and the Tiberian vocalization. The text it comes from, okay, so this is from the Masoretic text. That's what I was wondering, is if this is based off the Masoretic text. So I hate CE. What is CE? CE is AD, right? What does CE stand for? They changed it. It used to be BC and AD, Anno Domini, the year of our Lord. Now it's CE. 1000 CE. So the Septuagint's from like the 2nd century, right? Oh, 3rd through the 1st century BC. Well, that would be even before Jesus. So, okay. Wow. So the Septuagint is 1,000 years before the Masoretic text. Interesting. So you're, Elder Lion, you're arguing. So you're arguing because in the Septuagint, it does not say this. In the Septuagint, it says, "And as for all the captivity of women who have not known the lying with man, save ye them alive." So it doesn't say anything about young girl, children, None of that. But it does say, who have not known the lying with man. How would they know? How would they know if they were virgins or not, other than them being very young? But you're saying this Septuagint translation is more accurate, and that 1,200 years later, when they made the Masoretic text, the small hat people wanted it to match more with some of the stuff that was in the Talmud. So they intentionally added things to make it look more messed up. I mean, I guess that's possible. CE for the Clinton area. I understand your argument, but I understand your argument. It seems crazy to me that they would add something to make it look worse on themselves. Because if Jews put together the Masoretic text, and this is talking about the original Israelites, why would they add words to make it look bad? And then I keep coming back to the idea that they didn't have gynecologists. So how would they know whether these women were virgins or not, other than the fact that they were probably young? And regardless of all of this, let's just say they did take the young virgin women, or as the King James puts it, the women children that have not known man, by lying with them. Keep alive for yourselves. Let's say they did take the young women virgins captive. Okay? That doesn't mean that they started freaking making babies with them right away. You know, they could have taken them in, and like it says in Deuteronomy, let them mourn their family for a while, let them grow and mature, let them become accustomed to the Israelite ways, and then once they're at an acceptable age, then they could have gone unto them and married them and made a family with them. And I don't see a problem with that. It just sounds really bad. It sounds bad, I'll be honest. But I don't think, I don't think it's, people are going to jump to conclusions just because they're trying to find anything they can in the Bible to make Christians look bad. And that's one of those verses they'll use, something like that. So that's why verses like this, I'll take some time to wrestle with it. And when an atheist brings it up to me, I've looked deeply into this, and I don't see anything here that says there's nothing in here that says take them captive, grape them, and make babies with them immediately. So even if they were young, it doesn't mean that they immediately started doing something with them. Until the next page where it starts talking about division of the booty. Oh, no, that's a joke. That's a bad joke. Division of the booty does not mean get your mind out of the gutter. Okay, I'm going to keep reading. That's what it says on the next page is division of the booty. Guys, it's not what it sounds like. And do ye abide without the camp 7 days. Whosoever hath killed any person, and whosoever hath touched any slain, purify both yourselves and your captives on the 3rd day, and on the 7th day, and purify all your raiment, and all that is made of skins, and all work of goat's hair, and all things made of wood. No. They also took about 300 to 700 years of history from the Masoretic text to conform to a rabbinic golden age. The more I look into it, the more I've seen they change. I really got to go now. Have a good one. All right, later. Later. That peach. No, Rome. No. And Eleazar the priest said unto the men of war which went into battle, this is the ordinance of the law which the Lord commanded Moses. Only the gold and the silver, the brass, the iron, the tin, and the lead, everything that may abide the fire, ye shall make it go through the fire, and it shall be clean. Nevertheless, it shall be purified with the water of separation, and all that abideth not the fire, ye shall make go through the water. And ye shall wash your clothes on the 7th day, and ye shall be clean. And afterwards ye shall come into the camp. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, take the sum of the prey that was taken, both of man and of beast, thou and Eleazar the priest, and the chief fathers of the congregation, and divide the prey unto 2 parts, between them that took the war upon them, who went out to battle, and between all the congregation. And levy a tribute unto the Lord of the men of war which went out to battle, 1 soul of 500, both of the persons and of the beeves, and of the asses and of the sheep. Donkeys. Take it of their half, and give it unto Eleazar the priest for an heave offering of the Lord. And of the children of Israel's half, thou shalt take 1 portion of 50 of the persons of the beeves, of the asses, and of the flocks, of all manner of beasts, and give them unto the Levites, which keep the charge of the tabernacle of the Lord. And Moses and Eleazar the priest did as the Lord commanded Moses, and the booty, being the rest of the prey, which the men of war had caught, was 600,000 and 70,000 and 5,000 sheep. The booty. And 12,000 beeves, the 1,000 asses, and 2,000 persons in all, of women that had not known man by lying with him. So there it doesn't say children, it says women. 30,000 women that had not, 30,000 virgins, 32,000 virgins. And so they are literally dividing the booty. And half which was the portion of them that went out to war was in number 300,000 and 30,000 and 500 sheep. And the Lord's tribute of the sheep was 600 and 15. And the beeves were 30 and 6,000, of which the Lord's tribute was 12. And the asses were 30,000 and 500, of which the Lord's tribute was 1. So how do they tribute a person to the Lord? And the persons were 16,000, of which the Lord's tribute was 32 persons. So 32 of these virgin women were became tributes to the Lord. I wonder what that does. That mean they killed them, or does that mean they became like they had to become like 31? By the way, none of this stuff like makes me none of this do I read it and think like, oh man, what a mean God. What kind of God would do this sort of thing? None of this gives me any doubt or any like reason to be like, oh, question my faith or anything like this. In fact, I think it's based, to be honest, but 31. Which verse is that? 3140. Out of the 16,000 captured Midianite women, 32 were designated as a tribute or offering to the Lord, essentially meaning they were set aside for special service in the tabernacle, likely under the care of the Levites as part of the spoils of war following the Israelites' victory against Midian. So they were made basically altar girls. This is considered a symbolic act of dedication to God, taking a small. That's kind of what I figured. Commentary. The booty. The booty being the rest of the prey, some of the captives having been killed, and part of the cattle being taken for the support of the army. The total amount of booty was the following remaining portions. Persons, 32,000. 16,000 went to the soldiers. 16,000 went to the people of Israel. And then of that 16,000, 32 of them went to God, or to the Levites, basically. Mm, 16,000 women, out of which 1 in 50, both of women and cattle, were given to the Levites. What that amount is to is not expressed, but may be easily reckoned. Well, it is. It says 32. Meaning of the maids or virgins who had not slept with a man. Okay, so yeah, so they didn't sacrifice this, like, is basically like a tithe to the Lord. So they would go to, so a chunk of the spoils of war from the calves and the donkeys. What is a beeve? Bevy? Beeves in the Bible. Oh, beef. Old-fashioned plural for beef that refers to cattle. Okay. So donkeys, cattle, sheep, and people, and the women. The virgin women. And then 32 of those, out of all of them, 32, 30 and 2 persons. And the persons were 16,000, of which the Lord's tribute was 30 and 2 persons. So 32 of these virgin women basically were sent to work at the tabernacle under the care of the Levites. Dabutee. The beauty. It's your beauty, not your booty. Okay. Please, and Moses gave the tribute, which was the Lord's heave offering, unto Eleazar the priest, as the Lord commanded Moses. And of the children of Israel's half, which Moses divided from the men that warred. Now the half that pertained unto the congregations was 300,000 and 30,000 and 7,500 sheep, and 30 and 6,000 beeves, and 30,000 asses, and 500 and 16,000 persons. Even of the children of Israel's half, Moses took one portion of 50, both of man and of beast, and gave them unto the Levites, which kept the charge of the tabernacle of the Lord, as the Lord commanded Moses. And the officers, which were over thousands of the host, the captains of thousands and captains of hundreds, came near unto Moses. And they said unto Moses, Thy servants have taken the sum of the men of war, which are under our charge, and there lacketh not one man of us. We have therefore brought an oblation for the Lord, what every man hath gotten of jewels, of gold, chains and bracelets, rings and earrings, and tablets, to make an atonement for our souls before the Lord. And Moses and Eleazar the priest took the gold of them, even all wrought jewels, and all the gold of the offering that they offered up to the Lord, of the captains of thousands and of the captains of hundreds, was 16,750 shekels. For the men of war had taken spoil, every man for himself. And Moses and Eleazar the priest took the gold of the captains of thousands and of hundreds and brought it into the tabernacle of the congregation for a memorial for the children of Israel before the Lord. All right. And that's chapter 31. That's going to be it for today. Let me see. 26 through 31. The second census and the deletion of the Midianites. I can't put slaughter in my title. Change the title to the second census and the deletion of the Midianites. All right. Well, that was a wild ending. It was slow in the beginning, but it picked up by the end. Yo, Juice. You got here late, crew. You got here late, crew. What time does Joel start? I'll just go here. You got here late, crew. Show's over. I'm dipping. We read about 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. We read 6 chapters today. 4 of them were just census, feasts, sacrifice procedures, slow stuff, boring stuff. Not boring, but not like exciting stuff. But the last 2 chapters, it got a little wild. We just read about the slaughter of the Midianites, and we really dug into Numbers 31:18 because it's a very controversial verse. But I think we've came to some good conclusions by looking at the Septuagint, different translations, different sources, and commentaries on it. Elderline had some ideas that he brought in, and then I kind of used my own logic to think about it, and then we compared that with the commentary, different translations, some of the ideas that Elderline gave. We put it all together, and I think we reached at least we have enough information to justify that if some atheist pulls that verse out, we can respond to it. We can deal with it in the right way. Noise. All right. I gotta go. You see this line in my head? That's from when I had staples up through here. You couldn't see it when I had dreads. I got my head stomped into the concrete one time. I got 15 staples in my head. There's somewhere in here. I don't know. All these lines are here from the dreads, but I think it's this one. Dang, staple line. All right. Yeah, Staples. Staples. It was like an Office Depot up in there. Now I always see that line. And there's some over here. But there's lines all through there. That's because of the dreads. But that one's the most pronounced because it was somewhere. It was like right here. I can feel it's scarred up. There's like a line of scar right here. It's like this. All right, I got to go, guys. Say what's up to Angry Conservative for me. Nobody else is streaming. I was thinking about Joel Friday, but I don't know. I think his show might be almost over or something, or I don't know. But say what's up to Angry Conservative. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, and we will be finishing. I think we're finishing Numbers tomorrow. If we're starting at chapter 32 tomorrow. Right? We finished 31 today. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to finish Numbers tomorrow. May even start Deuteronomy, or I may just call it short tomorrow because that's only 4 chapters. Usually we do 5 or 6 every day. There's only 4 chapters and we're done with Numbers. So we're going to finish Numbers tomorrow. And then, well, Friday we're not doing a Bible study because Friday they're doing a daytime VK. I almost don't want to do the daytime VK because say I do the day shift VK and I win. Then I'm less likely to win again on the night shift one. It almost seems like I kind of just want to get my rest during the day, let somebody else win the daytime one, and then give it 100% on the nighttime one for the big prize. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I just try to do both? Or should I get some rest and give it all for the second one? Because if I win the first one, then they're probably not going to let me win the second one too. But I do have the daytime title and I need to defend it. I don't know. Maybe I'll start the daytime one, but I'll just try to piss people off so they put me in 1v1s, and then hopefully I lose a 1v1 and then I can go to bed. So then I can at least say I showed up for the daytime one. Let someone else win, he says. Well, no, I mean, because I don't want to show up for the daytime one and win, and then that makes me less likely to win the nighttime one. If I show up for the daytime one and I kind of just throw and I get voted out, and I get voted out, I go to bed, I rest up, and then we come back stronger for the nighttime one. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm tired, though. Look at bags under my eyes. I got to get some sleep, guys. God bless everybody. Say what's up to Angry Conservative. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm out. Peace.